The definition of a rate is simple. It's the amount the buyer pays to the supplier for a worker or service. However, as rates are the product of negotiations between both parties, they can become complex. In the procurement process, we encounter several types of rates. When Officium IT creates a job posting, they set a maximum rate they are hoping to pay for the position. This initial rate is known as the requested rate. Vantage Solutions, upon receiving the job posting, can submit candidates along with their rates. This is called the presented rate, which Officium IT can then compare with the requested rate. It is possible to configure the job posting templates to allow or not the supplier to increase the requested rate. Once an agreement is reached, the proposed rate becomes the bill rate. This is the amount the supplier will present to the buyer. However, it's important to note that this isn't necessarily the final invoiced amount. The final bill rate seen by the supplier may differ from what the buyer sees. This can happen, for instance, if the buyer uses an agency for negotiation, resulting in additional fees like MSP fees being added to the bill rate. The final bill rate also depends on whether the rate defined is pay rate or bill rate based. Rate types delineate the various approaches to determining the final bill rate. To illustrate, let's focus on the three primary types: rate, bill rate based, and pay rate based. The rate type. This type represents the rate itself, typically used by buyers who do not require visibility into the supplier's fees or workers' wages that contribute to the final bill rate. Hence, the supplier's rate of $100 equates to the $100 bill rate presented to the buyer, without including any rate components. With this rate type, the buyer lacks visibility into the percentage allocated to the worker and supplier. This approach first negotiates the pay rate, after which the supplier applies its fee. Consequently, the bill rate varies, contingent upon the negotiated pay rate and other rate components. For example, Officium IT and Vantage Solutions settled on a rate of $80 per hour for Joe's work, with Vantage then applying the fee of 25%. The final bill rate is found to be $100. On the flip side, we have the bill rate-based type. This method involves negotiating a fixed bill rate up front, which remains constant throughout the transaction. Subsequently, after receiving payment, the supplier applies its fee and compensates the worker accordingly. It operates similarly to the rate-based type. However, here, the buyer has visibility into both the pay rate and the supplier fee. For example, Vantage negotiated a billing rate of $100 with Officium IT. After receiving payment, they will deduct their fee, and the remaining amount will be paid to Joe for his work. This transparency enables Officium IT to evaluate Vantage Solutions' expenses and ensure fairness in determining the final bill rate.